Warning, Money's Crazy Mind contains language that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised, but will be completely ignored. Welcome to the podcast about everything and nothing all at the same time. This is Money's Crazy Mind.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to this week's special video edition of Money's Crazy Mind. I, of course, am Lee Money. And this week, the reason why it's a video episode is I've got the girls from Pillow Talk Radio, which is a Redline radio production. And I think the one thing that we forgot to mention in their interview, sorry Dave, is when the show aired. So the show airs every Sunday night from 10 p.m. till 12:20 or so a.m. on Redline Radio's YouTube channel. It's a YouTube exclusive, and you can tell kind of by the title Pillow Talk why it's only being available on YouTube. And let's give these girls their just due. So here's Thelma, Louise, and Sam with two M's. And you have to do the 2M thing. I've noticed that. Sam gets angry if you don't mention that she has two M's in her name. So I've said it a few times now, Sam. Remember that. I got you. All right. So I'm here with the three lovely ladies from Pillow Talk Radio every Sunday night on Redline Radio. So tell me a little bit about Redline Radio.
It is owned by Dave Wallencheck. He, well, actually, Louise approached him about us possibly doing a podcast. We met him through mutual friends. Bearded Bastards was with Redline at one point, and we were friends with Sean Halfhill of the Bearded Bastards, and it just kind of went from there. And then Louise
came up with the idea.
Why
don't we just do a talk?
She was like, Thelma, hey, would you do a talk show? And I'm like, what? And then we Sam over here.
I gotta drug me in.
All right, so we have Thelma. Right.
No.
So we got Thelma, we got Louise, and we got Sam with two M's.
With two M's.
All right. So what exactly is Pillow Talk, and what do you guys talk about on a weekly basis?
Pillow Talk is just three broads getting together, talking about sex. That's what we do. We have fun. We laugh. We that's what we
educate.
It's very educational too.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have fun.
It was really
we meshed together so well.
It was really just like our first episode. Like we had topics and all of that stuff. You know, it would be Louise would do the topics, and then Sam and I would answer the questions of things that she had researched that week.
Right.
And it just turned into like after our first episode, it was just like we all bounced off of one another so naturally. That it just turned into what it is, like challenges and getting the audience like that, our viewers like involved and stuff like that. So it's just snowballed, really.
Yeah, we just meshed together so well, and we just love each other. We love having fun and laughing, giggling. You'll always see Thelma hitting stuff with their face on the mic.
I'm a klutz.
And like I said, like we get the audience involved, we get the fans involved. We're really just like I said, three girls just talking about sex, having fun.
So I've heard a little bit about these challenges, and I got to witness one live Sunday night. I gotta say, you probably gave the censors at YouTube a couple of things to think about during that whole thing.
Well, if you haven't noticed, every time we do stuff that's kind of like off the radar, we always say somebody always says this is for educational purposes. Only.
Right.
Yeah, I did notice that.
We
I did
do
notice that you guys had said that. Yeah.
Yeah, because we've gotten booted.
We got booted. Yeah. We got booted a couple of times.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was our circumcision talk.
Yes.
Somebody was mad.
Yeah. We talk about everything. There is no holds barred on the show. None.
So what we do every week is we do a challenge. Like one of us, it's been several different things. Like we looked up sexual positions, and each of us had to pick one to do, or we'll challenge each other, or we'll do. Actually, this past week was the first week we've ever done a challenge live.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was received very well, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So I know.
There are belts involved.
Yeah, there are belts
Now
involved.
we're all fighting for a belt.
We're all fighting
Yeah.
for our belts.
I was just waiting for her coochie, but whatever.
So I did know that you guys were auctioning off the panties that were
Yeah.
used in last week's challenge. Did those ever go to the highest bidder yet, or are they?
I
still
haven't really checked the YouTube. Though.
I haven't checked
I
the
haven't checked. I know there was a couple of comments. I don't know. I don't know. We have to get with Daryl on that one.
Man, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the chat unless I was putting something in the chat.
Right.
But that episode was definitely entertaining, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how my fiance was going to recept to it, but I told her that I was going to be interviewing you guys for this show, and she's like, "Well, let me see what this show's about." And plus, Louise, you and I went to high school together, so you know a couple of my mutual friends, and she wasn't sure if she knew you or not, but I knew she wasn't going to, just because of who our mutual friends are. So but she actually really enjoyed it, and I thought when the human plate challenge was going on that she was going to be like, "What the fuck are you watching?" But she got like really interested, and she's like, "They're not really gonna." Oh my god, they did. So like,
yeah, we don't hold back.
We do not hold back.
Yeah, that was fun though.
That was and make sure you tune in next week.
Yeah,
we are going for a vote.
Yeah, I do have to. I'm working a double, unfortunately, but I'm gonna try to sneak YouTube on my phone so I can watch.
Post them later too, so you can watch them back.
Right. Well, and that's how her and I watched it. I watched it live Sunday night, and then we went back and rewatched it last night just so that she can kind of see. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Like actually, a lot of men will come in the chat, and surprisingly, a lot of men thought the same way, that their wife, girlfriend, or whatever was going to be offended or upset. Sure, and a lot of women actually just took to it because. So many women just kind of stay closed off in public, and we're just kind of like three chicks hanging out, having a few drinks, and just being who we are, right? And the fact that like people are catching on to that is a huge honor.
Yeah, it really is.
Mom, I have.
Well, shows about this particular topic, shows about sex have generally historically been hosted by men from a men's perspective. So when I kind of got the idea of what you guys were doing on your show, and obviously the name kind of gives it away a little bit with the pillow talk and all that. Yeah. I'm just like, a female perspective show on a topic that's generally
hidden.
Well, not just hidden, but not talked about from a woman's perspective.
Right.
People might be afraid to express themselves. We're not like that. We express ourselves.
Like we had some embarrassing shit on some of them episodes. Like I broke toes doing a challenge one time.
Yeah.
So, and we told the whole thing. Like we just don't there's no hold back with us. And I like honestly, like a lot of females will say, "Oh, I don't get along with females too well." I really don't. And like the fact that we click so well is, I guess people like it.
I mean, the show, like I said,
there has to be each one of us in order for it
to be talk. There's no Thelma without Louise, no Sam without Thelma. We all mesh together.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm going to try to keep this as kayfabe as possible. I mean, I know all your guys' real names, so I'm going to try to stick with the Thelma and the
I got you.
Louise and everything
Thank you
like
very
that.
much.
You know, I mean, it's professional courtesy. I mean, I use my real name, even though a lot of people think my last name isn't Money. You know, she can attest that my last name really is Money. So, I
Yes.
mean, you know, it's really cool seeing a show like this being done, because I don't think something like this has been done since Loveline, that was hosted by Dr. Drew and
I remember
Adam
that.
Carolla, or
Yeah.
even before that with Dr. Ruth. I mean, who wants to listen to a 90-year-old woman talk about sex in 2021?
Right.
So,
Oh dear.
but you know, so with these challenges, I know what the one is next week. I don't want to give anything away unless you guys don't mind talking about it.
No, that's fine.
No, we're fine.
Where do some of the, I know where this idea came from, but where do some of the ideas for some of the other challenges, like the butter
This one and
churner,
this one.
like the butter, yeah, the butter churner challenge? I don't know if I've ever.
I have to fulfill that challenge. I'm behind
14th.
on a lot of challenges.
You're behind on all.
So this week's challenge was we have to three-way call.
Sam
Mhm.
beats us at every challenge.
So
Hers is
I
the
have
first
to-
one.
too. So I have to three-way call that, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely the challenges.
Right. And I know that you had somebody that we're mutually familiar with, Lex Vegas, on your show
Yeah.
previously. I used to be in the professional wrestling world, so I know Lex pretty well.
Yeah, he tried to trample in our little playground and show us up, but he played back pretty well. And there's gonna be a I don't know if you know, he's also at Redline. He has the Lex Vegas show from 7 to 8 on Thursdays. So what he doesn't realize is that we still have some payback to do.
Yes.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to go back and
Yeah,
watch
so-
that Lex episode. I missed the Lex episode.
Oh boy.
But but
You missed a lot.
We
Go
all
back and for educational purposes only.
we all swallowed a cucumber that day.
hey, you know, I mean, I've done actually one of the episodes of my show that I'm going to have coming up is actually going to be talking about the trauma that I mentioned on your guys' show Sunday night. And when my fiance heard my comment, you know, when you guys read my comment on the air, you know, she's sitting here and she's just like, you haven't really talked about that yet. And I'm like, well, it's going to be coming up. You know, if something that happens tonight happens, I might save it for a later date. If not, it will definitely be recorded and put up on Anchor like all my shows are. But you know, that was actually something where I kind of just went, like just hearing other guys sit there and try to come clean about some of the stuff that they had gone through in their own lives.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you're definitely reaching both ends of the spectrum with your audience. Like, how does that make you guys feel that you're reaching not only women, but you're reaching men as
Makes me
well?
feel good.
It makes us feel great.
When most people go into head on something, it's either one sex or the other.
Mhm.
The fact that we can do for both sexes is amazing, for real.
I mean, I really didn't think too many people were gonna catch on to the show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought, okay, well, this is cool. We'll do this for
This
a
is
couple
for
weeks
fun.
and be
Right.
done with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how can we go every week? You know what I'm saying? With a different
Mhm.
topic. But then it started turning to where the things that we would talk about, it would be men and women commenting,
Mhm.
and some couples
Mhm.
as well, asking questions and making statements of things that have happened in their life.
Right.
Like, it just naturally I don't know, like, I feel good about it. Personally, I'd say it,
We all do.
like I said, I am honored that we have been taken into people's lives as easily and quickly as we have.
Not only
Right.
that, but like great because he gets to catch that audience every week.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what I'm saying? And you just said that your fiance might watch the show.
You
Yeah,
can call her
and
my
then she
wife. I
might
mean,
show her
we're
friend.
months away. Yeah.
You know, and then her friend might show her friend. Like, we didn't expect it to get this big. I just came up with the idea and I was like, hey, why don't we just have a show? We talk about this shit all the time. Why don't we just do it? And here we
Right.
are.
Right, and that's basically, you know, what it is with my show too. Like if I'm talking with my buddies, you know, I mean, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, so
Yes,
you know,
yes, you
I'll
are.
you know, I'll do, you know, an episode about like one of my
My
first
13-year-old
episodes.
son would love you, by the way. It's crazy his obsession, but sorry.
You know, my first episode was actually about the 35th anniversary of the Ghostbusters. And then we
Okay.
did one for Back to the Future. I've done some on comic books and stuff like that, you know. So it's just, you know, whatever interest is in my mind at the time when I'm sitting down at the mic and I'm like, what do I want to talk about this week? You know, oh, DC Comics might be shutting down. Let's talk about that.
Right.
You know, so, and I kind of got that vibe from your show too, because you guys were jumping from topic to topic without sitting here saying like, okay, let's put a kibosh on this and let's move on to something else.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just, we like I said, it used to be Louise would look up stuff and she would research it all week. And then one week I was like, well, let's try to wing it and see what happens.
Right.
And it just like, I felt it worked out better to just wing it than to have it scripted. And people just, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But these two, like, look, they always blame me for shit. These two are not innocent here, okay? So, like, I don't know. And this one right here, she look, she liked last week's episode.
I could tell she was enjoying herself. I could tell. And you know,
and I can't wait till next week.
Yeah, wait for next week.
I'm still trying to figure out how that one's gonna get past YouTube. You guys might get banned again.
We did but we did it. We said educational purposes. She had brought in something, and we wanted to see who could go further down, and we said for educational purposes only, and it never got removed. It never got shut down. As long as you have the explicit on it, and you throw in anything is like outside the box, you say this is for educational purposes only.
Right.
And because Redline is the LLC, we're good.
Okay.
And then you have to be 18 years or older to even subscribe to Redline now because of
okay. So that might be how they're getting past it then.
Yeah.
Especially
so
with next week.
If you're not 18, So if you're not 18 years, like even if your phone's set up to under 18, you cannot get in.
Okay.
Her mama. That's Mama G over there.
Yeah.
She's a little G over there.
So, other than
I don't know if your whole camera saw that like this whole entire time. I've been just looking.
This is how we are.
I only see like half of her anyway. So like all I see is like the right tit and like half of her hat. So
There you go.
all right, there we go. But so obviously you guys have really good chemistry together, and I know that it was originally just going to be Thelma and Louise. So how did Sam get involved?
We was at the nail salon.
This is the true story. It's like, you know, we're talking about doing this radio show, whatever, and then
they're like, oh, Sam would be perfect.
And that's how it started. But we were friends before, like obviously before that. Like Sam and I met at a mutual friend's house, and then it was just like on Facebook for a while. But like the Facebook chemistry was like, we would have like 200 comments in a post, and everybody's like, y'all are funny, you know what I mean? So it was like we clicked like that. Right. And then Louise, believe it or not, I met this bitch at a PTA fundraiser in our kids' elementary school.
Yeah. And here we are.
And now look at us.
We're doing a talk show together. Like we're best friends. We all love each other.
So it's just, you know what I'm saying? We just mesh.
Yeah.
So
and these two freaky asses, you know what I'm saying?
I know you ain't talking.
I know you ain't talking.
I went all the way down to do that.
So
there we go, hitting each other and everything. This is what we do.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. This is what happened.
No, you're good. You're good. This is why I wanted to.
This is pillow talk right here.
Like, I mean, she's looking at my breastises. I know what she tastes like now is getting a mess over here.
Yeah.
That's how we rock.
And Louise said she smelled good too. So
yes.
So Redline Radio, is this something that's kind of new, like something that just started recently? Has it been around for a while?
It's been around for a while. I believe it's been 4 years, 4 or 5 years. You may want to message it. Oh no, you
I
can't.
can't.
I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I think he's been around with Redline. He started Redline 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
If not 5, definitely. I think it's like 6. Is it 6?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it is 4.
I think it's 4.
Okay.
But
And
then
there's
him and his brother used to race cars as well. But his brother had passed away, so he stepped away from it. But that's where the whole like car theme and stuff came from. He's very much into cars and stuff.
Right.
And then yeah, and then he just built it up to what it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. How many different unique shows are there at Redline right now?
Oh my gosh, there's 1 to 2. Yeah, there's like 10. There's like 1 to 2 every day.
Okay.
Yeah, you got socks and sneakers. You got
Name them off, girl.
You got the socks and sneakers.
The dirt
you got
sheet.
The dirt sheet. You got the Lex Vegas show. You got Pillow Talk with Thelma Louise featuring Sam. You got the top 10.
The top 10. You have hold on. Come on, girl. That's only 5 now. Come on.
The Scoop.
The Scoop.
Bring the Fight and Friday Night Drop.
That's 8.
We're missing 2 more.
I don't think there is 2 more. I think you tripping.
There's the sports show that you guys have mentioned.
We just do socks and sneakers.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah.
I said snot and sneakers. Leave this shit alone. I think that's it. 8.
I
No, a
believe
new one actually. No, I take that
new
back.
one
A
is
new
coming
one.
too.
No, but a new one just a new one just started. So I'm not sure about that. And then
it is about the greatest football team in the history of the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. So I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal show. It'll probably be the number one.
Hold up. You know what though? Honest to God, my dude is a huge Steelers fan, and Dave is a huge
so am I.
Steelers fan. I'm done with this interview.
You should know that. I've always been a Steelers fan.
I forget. It's been like 20 years since I've
Well,
seen
true.
You know.
Spouse and Dave are they're actually starting a Steelers City Nation in Cleveland show or something. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't pay attention to that. That's black and gold. We don't do that.
Black and yellow.
No, we don't.
So you're saying wear my Roethlisberger jersey tonight?
Yeah. Don't be excited because you got Najee. That don't mean shit.
Okay, so it's just a podcast network where you guys just like do like live video podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There's sometimes where like our show, like there's been shows that have also been done on site, like at a wrestling event recently. They did a show on site for the draft. They went to Steel 38 and Pillow Talk had a meet and greet.
Oh, cool.
They did that for the draft. They did live. They ran the whole, it was like from early in the morning till like 11 at night. And then they did it again the following day. But mostly they have done some Zoom, just strictly Zoom, but they've kind of gotten away from that now that COVID, you know.
Right.
So basically, like our show can only be done on YouTube.
Right. And may I just say that we are the #1 show on YouTube.
No,
that's awesome.
That radio. That radio, yeah.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So
that's
but
awesome.
yeah, it's aired on Instagram now. He just started airing on Instagram.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we cannot be on that.
But and then they do the lives on Facebook and YouTube. So there's 3. And then it's there's an app. Redline also has an app that you can download from Google Play or whatever, and the shows air on there as well.
Okay, cool. So you guys had mentioned something on your show Sunday night. It was basically like how far you guys were willing to go with your significant others.
Yeah.
One thing had gotten mentioned, but I was wondering because this actually came up in a conversation between me and one of my friends the other day. Have you guys ever heard of snowballing?
Yes.
Yes.
It just sounds disgusting to me. But I mean, is that something that you guys have ever encountered before, or have any of your fans ever asked you about it?
I think we talked about it.
I think we did talk
we
about
talked about it one week. I think
Oh, really?
everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody, all of us have.
Have any of you guys ever done it?
Yeah, all of us.
Okay.
Right? It was all of us who did it. Right?
Well, is that when the person
Like it was I did it, Sam did it, and you did it.
Yeah.
We all did it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
this is what we're talking about. We are not your we are we're not your like average chicks, man. Like we're just not these other girls right here. We're like we're very open, honest. We talk about whatever, and that's how we are.
Okay.
And we're not afraid to do it. We're not afraid to.
We've had like viewers like 1 week we did viewers gave us stuff to do, and then we had their names in a basket, and we each picked whatever, and whoever completed the challenge and had a picture of the proof of it being done, that viewer won a gift.
Right.
So we do that too.
But
So,
we do it in our pillow talk chat. Like we're not. It's like we
Right.
can't porn. Like we can't. You know
what did you think last week was?
I mean, it had
gonna-
certain
yeah.
articles of clothing not been left on. I mean, you probably could have moved that over to Pornhub. So,
I mean,
but
I'm just saying, like, you know, but there's a lot of things that I have not done until I started doing the show.
Yes.
okay.
I'm failing challenges. I have to keep up on those.
So,
Well, I mean, the 14th is coming up.
The horses, yes. Oh my god. It's another thing, you know. It's fun to just be open and honest about everything. You know, some people are afraid to do that. And the fact that you knew that date was about my sexual experience, like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know. So it's the fans, and we're just honest.
see all
And we laugh and get to each other. And I'm what are you doing?
see over here tripping. So what is the first thing? Okay, so what is the first thing? I hope you don't mind me asking you a question. What is the first thing that you thought watching the show? Because this last week was your first week, correct?
First time watching the show in its entirety. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And what did you think about it?
Yeah, coming from a man's perspective,
Well, not even that, just like a first time viewer. We've never asked that to anybody.
Yeah. I actually thought it was really entertaining. Like you guys are 100% right. Your chemistry is on point. Like the three of you guys complement each other really, really well. And with me having a personal relationship with Louise, it made it. I'm just like I always support my friends. That first and foremost, I will always support my friends no matter what it is. The lady that cuts my hair has been cutting my hair for 15 years. So, that's just something important to me. One of my friends is actually in a band, and I'll always go to his concerts. His fiance is a DJ. So if they weren't getting married around the same time we were, she would actually be DJing our wedding. So, I always support, anything that my friends do. I always want to be there. I support my buddy's tattoo business. The 2 tattoos that I have that I've gotten done recently, he's done. So these are, and I'll always put his shop before any other shop. The girl with my hair, she just recently opened her own salon. So anybody got a haircut place in Parma, go to her. So when I heard about you guys starting the show, I always try to share the link if I can. I'll always try to tune in if I can. I'll always try to participate if I can. But I did actually think that the show was really, really good. I love the female perspective on the topic because, like I said, it's not something that happens at, you know, all that much. And there were even times during the show when you guys were talking about some of the things that were going on in your own personal relationships that I'd get the smack on the shoulder and be like, pay attention, you know. So like, you know, my fiance was actually getting, you know, engaged as well. And for her and I to actually like something
Similar.
like that together, it's rare for her and I. Like I've had to bring her over to the dark side, as it were, on a few little things. Star Wars actually being one of them.
My son's middle name is Anakin.
Yep.
Nice.
Look, I got
The tattoo right there.
Okay.
so yeah, I get it.
You understand.
I mean, we have our cats and our dog are all named after cartoon characters. So we have Gizmo, Harley Quinn, and Daphne. And that was something that we started because you know, I lost my cat and this new cat came into my life, and you know, she's like, well, why don't you name her or him, sorry, something similar to what your other cat's name was? And I'm like, I can't do that because my cat will end up having very strange questions when it's a teenager. Because I will constantly call him by her name if I did it with the same letter. So I was actually watching Gremlins and I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, Gizmo. His name is going to be Gizmo. And then when she got her cat, she's a huge Harley Quinn fan. So when she got her cat became Harley Quinn. So
my kid's Chihuahua, her name is, I don't know if you know, a lot of people don't know this. Her name's Ahsoka.
It's from Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, very good. Not a lot of people get that. They're like,
and now the Mandalorian.
Huh?
And now the Mandalorian, because they're bringing her into Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
See,
I'm glad that's awesome that you guys can like come on common ground for the show though. Like that's the type of stuff I like to hear.
Yeah. Well, actually, because like I said, we rewatched it. I watched it live, but her and I watched it together again last night. When she heard me, when you read off my comment about my trauma,
right?
She's like, pause, and then like we had to talk about it because she was confused about what I was talking about. So it actually had us engage in a conversation as well.
Oh, wow. See, now that's awesome. Like stuff like that is kind of like, that's like an honor though. You know what I'm saying? Like how would you like it if somebody was like, you know what, like it brought me and my spouse together and it even engaged us in a conversation that we may not have had if this was not watched.
Right. Well, she was kind of confused.
That's like amazing to me.
Right. She was kind of confused about the time frame that I was talking about with the 8 months. And like what happened only happened very recently, but the things that were going on with me had been going on for a long time. And it took me actually sitting here saying, hey, you need to know something. I tried killing myself on Easter. For her to sit there and be like, you've been acting funny for a long time and I just haven't known how to tell you. But now that I know what you were going through, like you need to get out of what you're doing. You need to change your life. And like the next day I walked into my job and said, my last day is May 4th. No questions asked. I'm done.
Wow.
And, you know, I mean, I was working 70, 80 hours a week, no days off. I would have to come in early, stay late. I was literally killing myself. And Easter was kind of the thing that, well, I guess I'm doing my trauma episode now. But I was supposed to get off at 4 a.m. And the manager that came in after me said, nobody's leaving until 8 a.m. I had made plans with my family. And so I had to call my mom and say, I'm sorry, I have to cancel Easter dinner because my boss is being a cunt. And she's just like, this is bullshit. You need to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, let me see what I can do. I actually have 2 cracked teeth in the back of my mouth that I don't have health insurance to fix. So I've been taking over-the-counter pain medication just to deal with the pain. When I left that day, I stopped at the drugstore and bought more medication. And I remember going home and opening the bottle, and that's the last thing I remember until I woke up at 10 o'clock at night to go back to work that night. And I was throwing up profusely, and I found the bottle on the ground empty. I took the entire bottle, and these were 500 milligram a piece medication. And it took me literally like
looking out for you, bub.
For sure.
Yeah.
it took me 2 weeks to be able to tell anybody that, you know, and I told my friend Tony, who's the best man in my wedding, you know, and he's like, you need to get out of that job. It's the job that's killing you. I can just tell it because you did it after you left work.
Right.
You know, if it had been and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't even know it was happening.
By watching our show and, you know,
well, I mean, I did tell her about it.
We talked about it, you know.
Right. I did tell her about it.
Come forth and talk about it.
Right. You know, and I did tell her about it, you know, afterwards, like after I talked to Tony and everything. But she's just like, I don't understand the 8 months. And I'm like, well, I was at that store for 8 months. And that's when my mental mind state started changing because of the, you know, the no days off, the never being home, never being able to do anything. I mean, we're what, 4 months away from getting married, and I haven't done anything for my part of it. Like, I haven't set up suit fittings. I don't have gifts for my groomsmen. I have nothing done because of how much I was working.
Right.
You know, and for the first time in 8 months, I'm actually getting to have a guys' night with my friends tomorrow night.
Oh, that's good. That now see,
Yeah.
now see, that makes me feel like I'm glad you could talk about it. And I'm glad that brought that conversation that obviously you both needed to have.
Yeah.
So when I hear stuff like that, like that's a beautiful thing. And then the fact that you even, because obviously before the show you have said something. So but
to very few people, I mean,
right.
Nobody in the Money's Crazy Mind world knows what I just talked to you guys about. So
and you know what? That's a beautiful thing. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because what you just said, and once you post this, somebody's gonna hear that and you're gonna save their life just by that.
And that was why I wanted to do an episode solely dedicated to my experience. And I mean, I know you said it's been about 15, 20 years since you and I have seen each other, but one of our mutual friends is one of the only people on the planet that knows that I've been suffering from depression since I was 15.
Okay.
And so I've been able to keep it in check normally because she's been in my life. And, you know, obviously with COVID and everything like that, I haven't been able to, you know, really talk to her all that much. And with us being quote unquote essential workers, you know, her and I have been working the entire pandemic. And, you know, I reached out to her the other day and I told her about this and she's like, don't make me come over to your house and kick your ass. You know, and I'm grateful that I've had her in my life for
those
as
are the
long
friends
as
you
I've
need
had.
right there. Right.
You know, but I mean, when I've had these kind of feelings in the past, I've just been able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, E, I'm in a bad way right now. I need to talk. But because of everything that's been going on, I haven't had anybody like that.
Right.
So it kind of just built up and you know, like, you know, and when I was
able to talk about it, and
exactly right.
I'm glad we were able to help out in some way, you know, for you to come on and talk to us like that. That means a lot. I know it does for me because, you know, I know you. We have history together. We know each other for 15 years. You know, went to high school together, and
we have mutual friends. You know, and that's the crazy thing. Like, I don't want to say their names because I've never said anybody's name on this show. But
we won't say names. I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Actually, I used to date one of them, and I know you know that.
I know
too,
who that
so.
is. Yeah.
We actually haven't talked in 8 years because her husband doesn't like me. So.
Oh wow! Sometimes it's just better left unsaid, you know. Just keep going, move forward.
So with it just being you two now, I know both of you guys have gone through divorces.
Yes.
And I know that they were hard.
They were messy. Mine was messy because there was a lot of there was a lot of finances that needed to be split, and then legal things that were going on in the other party's life that was highly broadcasted. So it was. Oof. I'm glad that's over. But I'm glad it's over. But like we are both able to like move past that and raise our son and be amicable and you know what I'm saying, talk and have conversations and stuff. So
Right.
you just gotta let that shit go.
Have you guys found it hard for your kids to have to deal with the divorce, or are they understanding?
Mine's having a hard time because her dad isn't really around. So it's hard for her. But I mean, we're much better off with how I might to say it like that, but it was very toxic and bad. So better off.
All right. The reason why I bring that up is I kind of wanted. I mean, I'm the product of divorce. You know, my parents got divorced when I was 10, and I think that that's actually when a lot of my depression issues started. And with me being the oldest, my brother and my sister actually have my brother actually has a really good relationship with my dad. My sister, their relationship is pretty much shattered at this point.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We only had the one. I only got one son. And like he was cool. You know what I'm saying? He's cool with it. My parents were divorced and I can't stand my dad. I don't even talk to him.
So I think my question is right. I think part of my question is this. My sister, God, I hope she doesn't kill me for this. My sister is a lesbian, and she was actually able to get married.
That's awesome. Congratulations, sister. Congratulations, Dad.
My sister-in-law is awesome. I love her. You know, I love my sister very much. My sister and I are actually really a lot closer than my brother and I. My fiance didn't even know I had a brother. Like that's but with my sister being a lesbian, you know, obviously some things have been strange. And my dad actually gave me a really hard time for going to my sister's wedding. My dad didn't even go to the wedding because he just did not approve of it at all. And that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for my sister.
Well, obviously.
So do you have any advice for anybody that's kind of going through like a situation where, you know, one sibling might be homosexual and the other two are not?
Like, here's the deal. Here's like, and like I said, I only have one. So I'm never going to run into this situation, but is that too?
No.
So I will say that, like, this is the one thing that frustrates me with parents, okay? Is when they try to make their kid hold back. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like you brought that life here. Like, so regardless of what you think or how you think that they should be or are or live their life or actions they choose to take, that is not for you to say. You're not God. What you do is you love that child, and that person who's getting the backlash for being who they are. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people will always say blood is thicker than water. That is not the case.
Oh, no.
That is not always the case. I am closer with people who are not my blood, that I consider family, than people, even my twin brother. I don't even talk to him. Because you're not about to sit there and tell me what I choose to do with my life is wrong. If you don't like it, go. You're going to have that time where you will cry about it, and there will be something that comes on the TV or the radio that you hear, and then you think about that person, but you got to let it go. Because if you harbor, because hating somebody takes more out of you than the person that you hate.
That's right.
So let it go and just let it go.
So you guys have kind of both said that you, well, I know maybe you're not, Louise, but I know you, Thelma, you had said that you and your ex are kind of in a little bit of a better place now that you're apart
Yeah.
than you were when you were together.
Right.
My ex-fiance and I basically share the exact same friend pool. All of our friends know each other.
Well, of course, because you were engaged.
Well, no, like we were all friends before her and I even started dating.
Oh,
And it's crazy because if you talk to my friend, she'll sit there and be like, I told you not to get into a relationship with her. I told you to fuck her and be done with her. And it's like, you know, and because that happened, it turned into a 4.5-year relationship. And she ended up cheating on me with somebody that I've been friends with for almost 20 years, that I have known most of my life. And she didn't even have the guts to tell me that that's why she was leaving me. She basically looked me in the eyes and said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. And I need time to think.
What is that?
I'll be. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And then 2 days later.
Don't come over here with that plate of food.
But 2 days later, I see the two of them together.
You're behind my uncle.
I'm sorry. So 2 days later. So wait, do you guys still talk? Like now?
Well, that was the thing. Like, because we have so many mutual friends, I basically walked away from all my friends. Because whenever I would want to hang out with any of my friends, she would end up being there because we're all friends. And they would
just be you.
Exactly. And
I get it.
So recently she started karma's a bitch, because the guy she ended up cheating on me with ended up cheating on her. And I'm just like, you know, so it's like, haha, you know, I can't feel bad for you because that's what you did to me.
Right. And when she said, girl, if you want to move my car for me?
Well, actually, I didn't talk to her.
Thank you.
I didn't talk to her after that.
So you don't talk to her now?
Well, my fiance invited a bunch of people to her birthday party this past year. And she ended up inviting the guy that she's now dating.
How could you say that I'm not in love with you? Like I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
It's a chest sinking experience.
Oh, it really
why
was.
the fuck you take the ring though?
People wake up with different feelings every day.
That's crazy. And you got engaged then. That's oof.
And you know what? I hate to say this, but that was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Was to sit there and open up to somebody that deeply again. Because I told myself I would never get married. You know, after that relationship failed, I'll never get married. I don't want to get married.
I'll never get married.
She full of shit.
I don't know. The way you were glowing when you were talking about your guy the other night.
Look, she's looking to make sure he ain't around. Look.
He's over there somewhere.
Well, it's funny because even my fiance said the same thing. My fiance said the same thing. She's like, when you two started talking about her relationship, she's like, her face is just lighting up. Like she's closer to the mic. She's engaged.
He said that his fiance said every time you talk about him, your face lights up. Look, there she go again.
But no, so she invited the guy that she's dating now to her birthday party, and he responded that he was going. So then one of our other friends is just like, you know, your ex is dating him, right? And that she's going to Megan's birthday party. And I'm like, oh shit, I just said my fiance's name. Oh well. And I'm just like, well, then I guess we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. And it's been, I want to say it's been 12, 13 years since her and I have seen each other.
Oh, it's been that long?
Oh yeah. You know, and I mean, she hugged me, she hugged my fiance, who she hated for a while. You know, and we actually had a decent conversation, but it was the first time I'd seen her in 12 years. What can we expect from the future of Pillow Talk?
I mean,
Not necessarily the challenge that's happening next week, but just like other things that might be coming in the
Like,
future. So,
honestly, like, I just want to see, like, people enjoying themselves, forgetting about reality for a couple hours at the end of the week, and start your week off good. And hopefully we get more viewers and people like you who feel that that is an outlet for them to open up about things that they would rather have not or did not for whatever reason.
mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. You know, like, that's absolutely, like, seriously, like, that's real, like, I don't know, like, I act like this hard cut little thug. But stuff like that really does, like, touch my heart, though.
Yeah.
To see that us just being us
Mm-hmm.
can bring awareness to a situation that people keep muted is beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, you know, what I went through was, I mean, if it had gone another way, you know, obviously this conversation wouldn't even be happening.
Right.
And I mean, that scared me. I mean, when you wake up and you're just vomiting profusely and you don't know why you're vomiting profusely. I mean, it's something that, you know, kind of makes you think. And, you know, talking to my friends and they're sitting there saying, you have not been yourself for a while.
Right.
It's like, I mean, I stopped doing this show. I stopped doing my Ghostbusters podcast that I do. I stopped doing basically everything but going to work. Like, me and my fiance were not being intimate. We were not having any kind of conversations. We weren't having any time to ourselves. And the day I put my notice in was the first time her and I had been intimate in probably months.
wow.
That's awesome, though. And now, look, you can get back into all of that because of your little conversation that's going to be happening later today. And you can get back to who you are and what you enjoy, which in turn you both will enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just sitting in front of, like, a YouTube for an hour, or you sitting behind a mic for an hour. Like,
Right.
if that's what makes you happy and smile, man, I say go for it. You got one life, live it.
Right. You know, and I'm you know, I'm a cook at a bar now. I'm not going to name the name of the bar, but, you know, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You know, and
love
that's
bar food.
You know, and I mean, that's what actually reignited my passion in cooking, was actually working in a bar and cooking in a bar. And, you know, restaurant management kind of grew out of that, and then my life went to shit. So it's obviously the management part of it that made me sit there and go, like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. You know, but you know, I wanted to do this mainly to try to just let people see who you guys are, and to try to help, you know, promote your show a little bit, you know, in return, help, you know, help promote me a little bit, especially if what happens in.
Send me the link whenever you post this or whatever, and then we'll post it on our Pillow Talk page.
Yeah.
And then we do I have a the helping hands thing is my spouse and I's business.
Yeah.
So if you want to send a link to whatever you're doing to either myself or Carla, I'll post it on there because we support local, like everything local.
Yeah.
People who do like broadcasts and stuff like that.
So
I got you.
So I know that I was requested that you guys make all your little plugs and everything like that. So why don't you guys plug whatever you got to do? And
well, we've mentioned all the shows already.
We mentioned all the shows. We are with Redline Radio LLC. Go and subscribe.
You have to be 18 or older. And I don't know, like what, like the Helping Hand thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like our show's sponsored by my husband and I's company, Helping Hand Moving Services. We're located out of Parma. You call us, you mention Redline, or if they even mention this episode, they'll get 10% off of their move. They can call 216-682-6955. That's me, Jen. 216-456-5080 Dave. So Whatever. I think I did it wrong.
Yeah. So, thank you for having us and everything.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You know, and like I said, I love promoting, you know, my friends and everything like that. So maybe one Sunday, if I'm not at the bar, maybe I can call in and we can
Yeah,
continue
do
the
that.
conversation on Pillow Talk.
Like I said, or even like have your girl call, whatever. Just
Yeah.
see what happens tonight. Let us know when you're gonna call in, and we'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll have contact.
Well, I
ready for
mean,
you.
if something that happens tonight happens, I might just show up at
Hey,
Pillow Talk. You know, I mean, I gotta show Lex up, man. Lex can't be the, you know, and I might have to bring my AEW gold. Just, I hope you guys had a good time. You know, I keep
Oh,
the show.
absolutely. Thank you.
Letting us eat on the
I
show.
apologize for cooking throughout the whole show.
Hey, I got a
This is
bowl of
not
Chipotle right here, so I mean, you know, you guys are munching, I'm trying to munch, you know, so. But yeah, no, I wanted to get this done because, you know, like I said, I love, you know, trying to help my friends out, and I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get a hold of Dave to make this happen. But
That's okay.
No,
Thank
you got
so
things
much.
going on, bro. Don't be sorry for living your life and getting shit right
Yeah.
first.
right, you know, but I
Don't
mean,
ever
like,
be sorry for that.
yeah, I mean, I've been out of my job for a week and a half now. I already feel 100 times better than I did,
Yeah, don't be sorry for that.
you know, and hopefully we can maybe make this a once in a while thing where I can bring you guys on and we can maybe do like, you know, sex
A collab or
advice.
something?
Yeah, or just do like
Alright.
sex advice from Thelma Louise and Sam or something, you know.
Okay.
And we definitely think that, you know, it's beneficial to talk about this kind of stuff because if you don't, you know, I mean, there's things that my fiance never did until she met me,
Right.
Okay.
and she loves every second of it now. So
I'll tell you this shit I'm doing that I didn't do before the show.
Yeah, maybe you guys can do some challenges of your own.
she's curious about a couple of the ones that you guys mentioned
That's
that
awesome.
that
That's
you
awesome.
that you still have to do for 14th.
We all
The
did ours.
14.
We did ours.
So I definitely will be tuning into next week's show to hear just how much of that shit you were actually able to do.
Yeah.
Look. She has to have picture proof too. We did.
Well, I'm gonna say it to you guys.
No, we had to show her live.
Well, wait a minute. Well, there's also a checklist that I believe had to be checked off for every item that you did. So
She ain't sitting down for that episode. She's standing the whole episode. She ain't gonna be able to sit.
oh Jesus.
Mhm.
So on one more thing from last week's or this past episode that just aired the other day. Was that the first time that you guys have ever done anything like that? And I mean personally, not like the challenge live on YouTube.
Oh no, I've had girlfriends.
Okay.
I never eat fruit off of, I mean, I drink shots off of people before, but I never eat
She
fruit.
never licked a kitty before.
That's more what I was getting to. I was trying to keep it, you know, somewhat
Oh,
peaceful,
no, you
even
just
though.
love crazy one.
Hers has an ex-female.
Hmm.
She's the one that's the eyeball about that.
Well, I've had a girlfriend too though, for like 3 years.
I had a girl
2 years.
for a while.
But I like to just ride the dick too much. I mean,
I've been saying. I mean, I've been saying fuck the entire episode. So I mean, I guess it doesn't
I
really.
like to ride the dick too much.
Right. No, but yeah, no, I think that what you guys is doing is great. You know, and like
Thank
I said,
you.
I love the female perspective of it because it's not something that a lot of people get, you know, in their face. Like I've heard my fiance and her friends talk, and it's basically the way you guys talk about a lot of those topics. So to see it on YouTube and to hear that people are actually benefiting, right, and benefiting from it as well, you know, it's definitely something that I think is a great thing. And you know, thank you
Thank you.
thank you
you.
for
Thank
you know,
you though, for real.
Thank you so much.
you know, thank you for letting me open up to you.
Oh,
You know, I mean,
absolutely.
You know, so but let me get going here because I got a meeting somewhere here
Oh,
in
yeah.
about
That goes.
40 minutes. So yeah, no problem. I'll message you here in a little bit and I'll let you know what happens with that. So
Good luck. Good luck to you.
yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for doing this, guys. We'll do this again though.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good one, nice.